how does Mike Pondsmith create a tabletop game? Like, what do you start with? Like a story, or this would be a cool kind of universe to explore, or some weird kind of game mechanic, or how do you go about it?
Usually it's a really interesting idea I've got of a world. I like building worlds. And so what I'll do is I'll look at the world and I'll ask, what can I do in the world? What are my possibilities in here? Many, many years ago, Jordan Weissman told me something that I thought really worked well. She said, you got to be able to describe what you do in the game in a certain amount of words. Like, I think it was like 12 to 18 words like that. I've got it written down. Cool. But at any rate, Jordan is freaking brilliant. And so, working with him was fun because Jordan would tell me something. I go, okay, that's cool. What about this? And basically, what I look at is, okay, this is the fun thing you can do in the game. This is the list. How many of those are difficult, or how will you implement them? And as you're going through, where does this thing fit in the world? So what you're doing in the world is driving how you're going to build things in the world. I used to get into a big argument with another designer I know about story, and I said, your story serves the world, not the other way around. He always thought it worked that you had a story and then you built the world around it. I said, no, you can do that, but then you have to figure out if everything's going to work, as opposed to, I'm going to figure out what the world does and what's fun in it, and then I'm going to wrap the story around it so that I get to do it a lot.
That's good.
So Cyberpunk is like, basically, I wanted to have heist films because those were perfect descriptions of most cyberpunk things. You're stealing, you're killing, you're finding, you're bringing back, you're doing a FedEx quest, whatever. And that's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And basically, what Cyberpunk in some ways was, I've got a world where violence and weapons and different competing forces are out there, and there are no cops to stop you, and everyone's kind of afraid of you, and you're the badass. And so I get to do these things. If I do a heist, I'm not worried about the cops. I'm worried about the corporate security and the cybered up guy that I'm going to be dealing with. If I'm cybered up, I don't get to just walk around like I'm Mr. Badass all the time, because around the corner, Adam Smasher is sitting around. I haven't killed anybody today. I think I'll go kill someone. So basically what, again, in Cyberpunk, you do a certain thing and you enjoy it. And, I think that was one of the success points that we reached was, we know what you want to do. We're just going to give you a place you can do it in. And
like a super cool place. Yeah. Yeah,
you need a super cool place. And, I've always been really proud of Night City because, when I spent a lot of time building it, and it's I built based Night City on Disneyland. Night City was Disneyland. You would have different areas that were basically different parts of the park, so to speak. So this is the Asian area, and these things happen here. This is the Italian area, and this is the warehouse area. This is the mall, and you broke it all up. And then you'd say, okay, so in the mall, I have a 3-dimensional space with a lot of people who might be blocking me. But if I can go into buildings and I can get things like weapons or gear or change clothes. So the mall is different than if I were, let's say, in the warehouse district where everything's locked up and I'm in bare streets and, I have not a lot of cover. So, you look at each one and you go, what do I get out of this? What's interesting about it? What can people do with it? So that's how I build them. I look at, basically, this is the framework of a world, but now I have to figure out what's fun in 18 words.
Yeah.